Hello. Hi, guys. Welcome to the team call. We are live. It looks like you guys are excited for the team call, already chatting it up. Melissa and I just had a quick blip, technical difficulties. You know, I love this platform, but it's always not always easy to get somebody to come on. But we made it work, and we were only 2 minutes late, so that's pretty good, huh? But I'm so excited to have Melissa talk with us. I mean, you guys know she's like a super rock star coach, and she's going to share so many good things with us. But before we jump into all of that, please say hi over in the chat box if you haven't already. Tell us where you're from. Tell us why you're excited about this call so Melissa can read those as I'm giving you some quick announcements. But super excited that you guys are here. I think there's some record numbers going on. We have 189 people registered, 73 on live, which is really, really exciting. So real quick, you guys, I want to talk about July. So July is going to be here on Friday, which is crazy. And July is going to go by in a flash. We have 4th of July, the first weekend, and then we also have Summit, like the last week of July. So for those of you guys that are going to Summit, there is a lot that needs to be done in a short amount of time in July. So I just quickly, for just 5 minutes, want to give you a plan, like a head start. While I have all of you here on this call, I want to give you a quick plan for July and a head start so you know what to expect, so you can make a game plan and make sure that you're knocking out your goals for July before we get to Summit. So the thing about what's happening in July and all this buzz about Summit is that we have got to create momentum going into Summit. You guys have been hearing me talk about momentum into Summit. You can't just use Summit as your momentum. You've got to create it to capitalize on what Summit can bring to us. So you've got to create that momentum now, talking to people now, so you have more eyes on what you're doing when you're at Summit. Okay, so July starts on Friday, and it's a holiday weekend. So I'm assuming you guys are mostly going to be unplugged for the weekend. Awesome. Enjoy your family. But what I want you to do is I want you to come back refocused, and from the 5th until the 15th, I want you to focus on pushing for Success Club. So I want you to make a goal to hit Success Club by the 15th. And for me, I'm doing that by starting my challenge group on July 12th. It's the Monday after the 4th, okay? So make a plan to start your challenge group then and start talking to people now about that challenge group. So whether you've hit Success Club in June or not, I want you to focus right now through Friday before you log off for the weekend on starting new conversations, forming people, recreating those relationships and conversations with people you haven't talked to in a while. I want you to rekindle those fires with people and get them excited about your upcoming challenge group, okay? That's how we're going to get the momentum going and help you hit Success Club in July. Okay, so the 15th, you're going to hit Success Club. Now, on the 18th, they're going to open registration. I just heard this. This is like total insider information. They're opening registration for the Team Cup that starts August 1st on July 18th. So I want you guys to start thinking on the 18th, who is going to be on my Team Cup? I want you to be registered for the Team Cup. I want you to get your teams registered for the Team Cup before we go to Summit. So if you are a coach that has a team, that has a downline, I want you to start talking about the Team Cup and getting them excited about that starting on the 18th. Of course, the focus before that is Success Club. Okay, then on the 18th, we switch the focus and we're focusing on that Team Cup, getting everybody excited for that. If you have no idea what the Team Cup is, that's okay. We'll talk more about it on the team page. But for those of you that have participated in the Team Cup before, just know that it's coming. And we want to get you signed up for that, have your team ready before Summit so that if your people are at Summit, you can bond with them, get to know them, meet them in person, and maybe start, creating some goals for August. Okay, and then Summit starts. I mean, the week of Summit is the 26th. I'm getting there on Tuesday. I know a lot of you guys are getting there early, but that week goes by so fast, and by the time we're done, it's the 31st, and July is over. So it's super fast. So we've got to create that momentum and build into August. So as you're creating those Team Cup teams on the 18th through when Summit begins, I also want you to really focus on expanding your network, starting new conversations, meeting new people, because that's going to create the eyes that will be on you when you're at Summit. Okay, so when you're at events and you're posting about all of this fun stuff that's happening, the community of the people that you're around, all of the butterflies that you get and the energy that you feel, people feel that through social media, but you've got to get the eyes on your posts, by having those conversations now and building that momentum into Summit. Cool? Okay. Let's see who's on the chat. Madeline, this is your first Summit. That's awesome. Jade can't wait for Summit. And Davina is super excited. All right, awesome. Hey, Alexa, what's up, girl? Okay, so you guys, now I'm so excited to introduce Melissa. So I just have to tell you guys that I think most of you know that I'm PIO certified. I'm not currently teaching PIO now, but I am starting to teach again at the end of July, which I'm super excited about. But Melissa has been on the PIO DVDs teaching as the master trainer for years. So I've been able to watch Melissa as, you know, a fangirl for so many years. I think I got certified in PIO in 2012. So it's been a long time. So I've been watching her from afar from a long time. And now all of a sudden, I get to be on her team call, and now she's on Team Triceps team call. So it's so super cool and crazy to be here now and have her here, because I know she's just gonna fill us with tons of inspiration and just a lot of her experience, because she's been in this business from the beginning and just has you know, loads of information. So let me read her stats, because they are incredible and she deserves so many kudos for this. So she is a 2-time 15-star diamond coach. So she's achieved 15-star and 2 business centers. In her other business center, she is 8-star, 5-star, 2-star, and diamond. That's incredible. For those of you who have no idea what additional business centers are, go into the team training site, go to Team Triceps retreat trainings, and watch my training on taking your rank and income to the next level, and it will blow your mind. That's all I have to say about additional CBCs. Okay, she is a 6-time elite coach, 6-time. She is a 4-time top 10 coach, and currently number 5 right now, so is working on being top 10 for a 5th year. Crazy. She's in the Millionaires Club. She's hit Success Club 5 for 75 months consecutively. She was a member of the Coach Advisory Board from 2015 to 2014. She's a master trainer, like I just talked about. She's been married for 22 years, and she has a 21-year-old son and a 20-year-old daughter. So a successful mom and wife, as well as a super uber crazy successful Beachbody coach. And not to mention, I think she has over 200,000 followers on Instagram. So this woman knows what she's talking about. So I'm super excited to have her here with us and to have her just fill us with some inspiration and knowledge. So Melissa, you want to unmute yourself and show your beautiful face and that long black curls that you got going tonight?
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay? Yes, you're muted now. Okay, so I can actually keep your face on, Sarah, which I would prefer than mine. So don't make faces at me. Smile, because I'm going to talk directly at you. It's actually quite the pleasure to be on your guys' team call. Sarah was on mine, and she absolutely blew it out of the water. We've had a lot of big names on our team call, and I will be honest with you that she gave one of the best presentations that we've ever had. So there's pressure. There's pressure to produce. I will tell you that, because I should have gone first. There would have been a lot less pressure. But what I would like to share with you guys today is just something that I get asked a lot. I haven't been here from the beginning, but I have been a Beachbody coach for 8 years now. And coaching is 10 years old, I believe. So about 2 years in, I became a coach, and I'm still going strong. I'm still working at it just as hard as I did when I started. And I have a lot of people, especially corporate, trying to get in this brain, which is a silly thing to try to do, but to try to get in my brain and to figure out what drives me and what keeps me going. So the first thing I want to do, and I'm going to watch the time, because you always come on these things and you're like, I don't have that much information, and then you look and you're like, oh my God, I've been talking for 5 hours. So please don't let me do that. But I just wanted to share you really quick, kind of my story of becoming a coach. I had just had my 2 kids and started to go to the gym. And I was in the back of the class, and then I moved to the middle of the class, and then I moved to the front of the class, and I was like, hey, I could do what she's doing. So I became a group exercise instructor because it held me accountable to work out, and it gave me that hour away from my two kids, which are 18 months apart. So I was going crazy. So I became a group exercise instructor. Long story short, I ended up becoming an area promotions director for Chalene Johnson, which is just a term for master trainer. My phone started blowing up. And all of these other area promotions directors like Mindy and Christine and Janelle were calling me. And I'm like, and I don't like talking on the phone. So I kind of ignored it. And come to find out, should have picked up the phone. Everybody was invited to California because Beachbody was opening up this new leg of coaching for powder blue for platinum presenters. And you guys know this. And so I didn't go. And so I didn't sign up right away. Oops. So anyway, my phone was quiet for a couple of days and then it started blowing up again. And finally, Michelle Park. So if you've done PiYo, whether you've done PiYo Live or even the PiYo home version, she's the modifier holding onto the chair. Really good friend of mine. She called me and said, hey, you should become a coach. I was like, okay, what's that? And she's like, I don't know. I was like, okay. And she said, but Chalene said we should do it. And so I signed up to be a coach, having absolutely no idea what it was. In fact, if I knew it was network marketing or direct sales, I would have hesitated. But Chalene said I should do it. And she's been a pretty good mentor to me. So I did it and it paid off. But let me tell you before I go on that because I hesitated and, I kind of didn't know anything about the business, as did nobody else in Platinum Presenters at the time. I was one of those people that was placed on an inside, no help whatsoever leg. So when I share with you some things later, I want you to remember that I really built my business all by myself, even though I'm part of Platinum Presenters. My whole downline is me. So anyway, the reason I decided to join, and I think this is really important for people to understand, is because I wanted the community. I wanted the culture. I was a newer mom. I had very busy kids. My husband worked a ton, which became one of my whys. And so it was always just me at home with the kids. And so he afforded us a great lifestyle. We had a great home. I had a new car. I didn't want or need for anything. I was already in shape. I was a group exercise instructor. So it wasn't to get healthy. It was the community. So don't ever, ever make the decision for somebody, especially in the fitness field. If you're like, well, they drive a Lexus and they're really fit, I don't know if coaching would be right for them. It absolutely could be. So community is just important to some people as finances or a weight loss journey to help them lose weight. Community is very important. So when I was in Bora Bora, sorry, I know when I say that, I always feel like I have to apologize. It's beautiful there. We were sitting around. We do this every time we do a top 10 trip, and we all kind of tell our story. And Jeff Hill asked me, he said, Melissa, what drives you? What makes you keep going after all this time? He says, you could probably bow out and still do okay. What is it that keeps you going? And I had to think about it for a second, but then it hit me that the thing that I'm so passionate about actually happens to be the reason why I have such severe birth defects in my feet. If you know that. If you don't, I don't mean to throw that bomb on you. But my dad was in the military and he was exposed to Agent Orange in Vietnam. So after they'd had my sister, my dad decided to become a helicopter pilot in the Army. And in order to do that, he needed to lose weight. And who knew, but Agent Orange actually sits in your fat cells where it just kind of hibernates and doesn't do anything. He needed to lose weight, which is my specialty, helping people lose weight. And in that process of him losing weight, Agent Orange came out of his fat and into his bloodstream, which caused severe birth defects in my feet. I get along pretty good, but for one, they're not very pretty. And two, they're tough to live with, but I do okay. So I was raised by him. He passed away right before I turned 6, but the first 5 years of my life, he really taught me to be a fighter. There was one point in time where a bunch of little kids were teasing me because of my feet. I was a young kid. I didn't know to hide them. So I'd walk around barefoot and they would tease me. And so he handed me a Louisville Slugger, a baseball bat. And he told me, go get them. And that was the mentality I had as a really young kid, was to fight for myself, right? Well, he passed away in a helicopter crash and left my mom devastated, to say the least. And about a year and a half before that, she'd lost her brother to suicide. So, wonderful woman, but she had just been beaten down. And so what she had kind of done was taken this fighter spirit young lady and kind of taught me how to hide and how to become a recluse and the queen bee of being an introvert. I never went to pool parties. I never went to the beach. I never did slumber parties. All these crazy things. Hi, bye, baby. I love you. And so I always had an excuse not to do things and to hide. It was easier for me than to fight for myself. And so, I kind of went through all of my school years just being a real quiet person. And then Beachbody came into my life, and I just learned to start fighting again. First, it was fighting for myself, to prove that I could do this, that this is legitimate. This is a good company. They want good things for good people. And so that fighter spirit came out in me. And then it got to the point where I became a fighter for my husband because, I had the American dream. I had, nice car, nice house, husband with a great job, 2 very healthy kids. And I thought that was the American dream. That's what everybody wanted. But then it dawned on me, I kind of married him because I liked him and I wanted him around. And he was 70 plus hours a week, 6 days a week. You never saw him. He never saw his kids. So I became a fighter for him. And I fought really hard to bring him home. And now, 8 years later, that fighter spirit is still in me. It's not for me anymore. It's not for my husband, but it's for my team. I try to think, if I had a mentor, we'll take Chalene Johnson, for instance, if she were just to kind of slow down and quit mentoring people and quit inspiring people and quit helping people, it would burst my bubble. And so that's kind of why I'm still around. I still want to inspire. I still want to lead by example. And so that's why I still fight, is for my team, and for my future team, and just to lead by example. So honestly, that's what keeps me driven. And so the next thing I want to go into is talking about how you get your team to produce, to be happy, to produce, and to enjoy what they're doing. Jeff Hill has told me before that I actually have one of the highest retention rates in the company. I probably don't have one of the biggest organizations because I'm on a dead leg, but I do have really good retention. Nobody ever leaves my team. It's a good feeling. And so I wanted to ask you if you knew that there was a difference between motivation and inspiration. Do you interchange those words, or do you know that there's a difference? I will always look over at the chat, and you can always answer me if I ask you a question. I learned that from Sarah, as a matter of fact. I never thought to use the chat as, communicate with people. So I appreciate that. So there's a difference, right? Thank you, guys. The difference between motivation and inspiration is that motivation is, chest pounding, watching those motivational videos on YouTube, looking at a picture of somebody with a great booty or great abs, and you're motivated by that, right? It's external. Inspiration is internal. So you're inspired by things that internally drive you. So when you think about motivation, it's honestly can be things that you don't do, but you should. So say, for instance, you need motivation to work out because you just don't feel like it. You need the motivation to reach for the salad instead of the bread bowl, right? It's those kind of things. So if you're constantly in a state of feeling like you need to be motivated because you're thinking you need to do things that you're just not happy doing or you're not comfortable doing, then this business will always feel like a pull, right? You'll always feel from your upline that they're always kind of pulling you or dragging you, as opposed to just having that internal inspiration to do something, to be greater. To be inspired is a calling. It's just something that, like, if you come up with an idea in the middle of the night, you can't go back to sleep. You got to get up out of bed and you've either got to write it down or you've got to start working on it right then and there. That's inspiration. So I want to ask you right now, are you inspired by your coaching? And I do want answers. Do you feel inspired to coach at this June? I know June. Tell me about it. I know June. But this point in your business, whether you've been in it 2 weeks or you've been in it 2 years, are you inspired by it? Yes or no? Karen says yes. Margarita. All right. Well, if you are, there's probably two things. Either you're a brand new coach and you don't know how to harness that, or you've been in it a while and guess what? You're very successful. But if you are not feeling inspired by your business right now, and it actually takes you to where you kind of drag your feet and you come into your office and you're like, I better do my power hour. Nobody wants you there. Sarah doesn't want you there. I don't want you there. Beachbody doesn't want you there. That's tough. And what you're doing is you're finding yourself not working in your lane, right? Not working in your wheelhouse. So if you'll allow me to tell you a story really quick. I say this all the time, but Carl Deichler owes me 100% credit for challenge groups. I'm the one who started them. I started them. When I first became a coach as a group exercise instructor, and I was teaching Turbo Kick in the gym. And so I decided to bring all of my neighbors, people from church, people from the gym to my house. And I showed them Turbo Jam. And I said, hey, let's do Turbo Jam together at home. And let's drink this amazing meal replacement shake, because we didn't have Shakeology yet. This meal replacement shake was wonderful. It was horrible, but it was a meal replacement shake. So it's kind of the same idea as Shakeology. So they followed the meal plan in Turbo Jam. They did Turbo Jam at home, and they replaced one meal with the meal replacement. And guess what? They saw amazing results, amazing results. They've been coming to the gym with me for years. Nothing, but something about the structure of a challenge group and that support and accountability, they saw results. And so that started my business. And so I just kept doing that because I got customers from it. I got coaches from it. And I just kept doing challenge groups. You guys, I've been doing challenge groups since day one. And they are the reason I am where I'm at, is challenge groups. And I'll get into that later. But I love them, but I hate them. I get sick of them, just like I'm sure you do too. But they are the foundation of who we are, and they're great. So I started doing these challenge groups and loved it. But what happened was I started becoming a top coach, and I started getting really good at this. And so here's the challenge groups. And I'm like, oh, well, this coach is doing this. Oh, this coach is doing this. Oh, that coach over there is doing that. She's so successful. And I left my lane and I started doing other stuff. And I'll give you, for instance, I'm going to use Anita Myron, good friend of mine. She rocks Facebook ads. She studies them. She gets them. She recruits like a mad woman from them. And so I was like, oh, hi, Anita, help me. I want to do Facebook ads. And so she helped me, and I tried, and I put a lot of money into Facebook ads, and I couldn't get the return that she did. Not only that, for me, it felt like I was going from doing my passion, which was helping people get healthy, to sales. So instead of showing people how Beachbody worked, I was trying to sell them on it. I was trying to tell them about it because I didn't show them. So in my comfort zone is helping people get healthier, fitter, more confident. And you just can't do that with Facebook ads. As far as recruiting goes, I mean, of course you can Facebook ad your challenge group, which I've tried that too. I stink at them. But I left my wheelhouse. And so I really started to dislike the business. I'll be honest with you. There was a time in my Beachbody career that I was like, you know what? I'm kind of over this. I'm burnt out. I'm not enjoying it. The people I'm bringing on have no passion for it. They don't have passion for the products. They don't get this team camaraderie. They're not duplicating what I do with challenge groups. And I was just like, hate it. That's probably the year I wasn't a top 10 coach. It wasn't. But that's my whole point is I left what I loved about coaching. And so please understand, I'm telling you right now that I'm not telling you have to do challenge groups. Anita loves learning about Facebook ads. She loves creating them. She loves talking people through the process. That's her wheelhouse. She's good at it. She's damn good at it. And she loves it. She doesn't like challenge groups. So why would she be doing challenge groups when she's so successful with Facebook ads? So you have to find your love, right? What inspires you, not motivates you to do the things you don't want to do. Because then you've constantly gotten Sarah go, have you done your Facebook ad? Have you checked on your Facebook ad comments? Have you put a new Facebook ad out? That's not what you want. If you are a challenge group girl or guy, then you need to do challenge groups. And I want you to think outside the box. What if you did challenge groups on finances? If you are a numbers cruncher and you love to help people work through their debt or learn how to save money or how to put money away for a vacation, put together a challenge group centered around finances, right? I think it's Lindsay that does, a biblical, she's very inspired by the Bible. And so she does these challenge groups that are faith-based. You can do anything that you want that you enjoy. But if you don't enjoy it, I'm pleading with you, don't do it. So John Maxwell says to ask yourself these questions, which I got from Josh, Sarah, so you've probably heard him. But what do you have to do? What brings you profit? And what pretty much gives you goosebumps? What do you love to do? So when I think of those questions, I go back to, what do I have to do? I tried really hard to delegate my challenge groups to assistants. Doesn't work. It just doesn't work. For one, it's what I love to do. And two, these people need to feel how invested in them I am in order to even consider making this a career for themselves. I have to do my challenge groups for them to be successful. I've tried. They have to be me. What makes me profit? Challenge groups. They make me that instant commission, and they also convert my customers into coaches, which is residual income. And then what do I love to do? Ding, 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 challenge groups. So it's a no-brainer for me that I will continue to do challenge groups because they answer all three of those questions for me. So you have to ask yourself right now, and you can even share, what if you don't know what your wheelhouse, that's what I was going to say, Marie, is you have to think about what it is that you love about this business. And if you don't know yet, it's going to take some soul searching, and it's going to take, maybe a call or a couple of emails swap back and forth with your upline to kind of work through it, because there's just so many avenues to this business that you'll find what it is that you're like, oh, I love to do this. And guess what? I can make me profit. And I'm going to do it best because I love to do it. So if you don't know right now, you're like, I really don't know what that is. You'll figure it out. Just knowing right now from this call that no one expects you and nobody wants you to do things that you don't want to do in this business. You don't have to. You are a business owner. You own it. You can run it. You can grow it any way that you want. And your way might be 10 times better than your upline's way. So don't feel like you have to do it their way. Do it your way. So when it comes to your team, I want to close this inspiration versus motivation really quickly with you understanding that first and foremost, you have to walk the walk, right? You have to show your team that you're inspired every day. I'm inspired by this business. I'm inspired by my challengers. I share how it's helped build my relationship with my husband and my kids, how it's helped, finances, and how it's helped keep me healthy. I'm healthier at 42 than I was at 22. I mean, this business is legit, the accountability and support that you get. So you have to lead by example and inspire your coaches to want to work as hard as you because of the great changes that you've had. And you also want to know their why. And I think that Beachbody, I want them to, let me see if I can call Carl. I really want them to define the why a little bit more, because most people think of their why as something that motivates them. Like I said, again, the 6-pack abs, or maybe it's a dollar sign. But a lot of times that's not intrinsic. That's not going to keep you up at night. That nice booty. What's going to keep you up at night is providing for your family, is working hard enough to bring your spouse home. That is a strong why. So some people are taking their why and it's needing motivation, as opposed to being already internal in them and being something that they're already inspired by, and they can take what they're inspired by and bring it into their business. So some call it the employee mentality. I just call it uninspired. So if you have coaches that you're constantly feeling like you're having to motivate, stop. Don't motivate them anymore. You need to help them find their own inspiration. You feel like, they're at it for a while and then they fall back, and they're at it for a while. It's because they've got the wrong mentality, and they're trying to do things that just aren't comfortable for them, or they just don't enjoy doing. So it's your job as their upline to really help them find it is what they love to do and how they can center their business around that love, because you can grow this business 1,000 different ways. You just need to figure out what's your way and how to make it work for this business, especially since it's so saturated anymore, which is not. All right. So I wanted to move on. And if I start turning red or blushing or stuttering like that, it's because I asked Sarah if I could share with you guys my income. And it's something I've never done before publicly, ever. But I had a coach, one of my coaches, very, very successful, very quick. She went 5-star in like 13 months. And she's very business savvy, which is not me. But she came to me and she said, would you be on my team call? And she goes, I know it makes you uncomfortable. She said, but would you share your income growth with my team? I think that would really inspire them. Because she's so new and she's a 5-star, her income hasn't really matched her rank. And so I think she needed somebody to come in and say, hey, if you stick with this for a while, this is what happens. And so I'm going to share with you my income progression. Like I said, I know Sarah's recording this and I've never done it before. And I don't know if Jemima's going to come knocking on my door, yelling at me. So I have to say beforehand that Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success. I got that baby memorized. But like I said, I've been in this business for 8 years. And so what I did, it was 8 while I was in Bora Bora, was my 8th year anniversary. How ironic, right? June 8th was my sign-up date. So what I did was I took every year from June 8th when I started to that first year to the second, to show you what my monthly income was for each year. Okay. And the cool thing about it is it kind of tells my story as a coach too, when you see this income growth. And I don't know anybody else's that much income, that much, the top 10 kind of shares. So I kind of have their idea, but this could be good. This could be bad. You could look at it and go, yeah, really? But let's see. Screen share, which I've never done on here before. So.
Okay. So hit the green share, green arrow button, and then the option of what to pull up on your desktop.
Well, that's probably not right, huh?
Well, now you got to pick it on your desktop. Grab it on your desktop.
Okay. So I have to move you out of the way in order to do it?
Maybe. Where's it at? Hold on. Stop the share real quick. Okay. Was there a different option? Can you pull up the graphic first, and then it will show it as a separate window?
Yeah. I just have 8 of them for each year, so I don't know.
Oh, okay. So it only had the desktop as an option, yeah?
It says entire screen, Microsoft Word, Google Hangouts.
Is it in Word?
in Zoom.
Oh, it's in Zoom?
It's on my desktop.
Oh, okay. Well, just open up the different images first, and then we'll just do the screen share for each one.
Okay.
That might just be easier.
Oh,
Technology, man, I know. I got to do this all so complicated, right?
this should totally inspire you guys, because I am the most computer illiterate person on the planet. And if I can build this business, you absolutely can.
Yes.
It just takes the love of
There-
others.
I love it.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm pulling them all up in chronological order so we can go through it really fast.
Cool.
Okay. And then I have one more.
We're all like patiently waiting. We're like sitting on the edge of our seat. We're like,
Oh, hey, interesting. Okay, so
did it work?
I don't know. Can you see that?
Yes, got it.
All right, yay. So this is my first year as a coach. Pretty impressive, right? You would not look at that $170 a month for the whole first year and say multi-million-dollar earner, right? You would probably dismiss me as somebody who dabbles in it, you know, but I was working very hard at that point. And I'm not making excuses, but there weren't a lot of programs. There was no Shakeology. There was, no Insanity, all of these really great heavy hitters at this point yet. So, but that was my first year as coaching. Did I give up because I made $170 a month? No, because I was pretty impressed with the fact that I could make $170 a month filled my gas tank, right? For the whole month. So I was contributing. I remember my husband, when I first got a check, which was $15.48, he looked at me, he said, "Good for you, honey. You can buy the pizza now." I was like, yes, I can buy dinner. So let's see what happens when I do that. Dang it.
I think you have to stop it and then restart because there's separate graphics probably.
Okay. So you see my face, you don't see my face. You see my face?
Yeah.
All right.
There we go.
Here comes number 2. That says, yeah, that's right. So, hey, look at me. I made 10 times more than I did the year before. So I was making, during my second year, I was making $1,700 a month, which I think is good.
Yeah.
Things move a lot faster than they used to. But back then, I think that was pretty good. So you just, kind of start to see that steady progression of it going up because residual income starts to kick in.
I mean, what could you guys on the call, like what could you do with $1,700 extra a month? What would that do for your family?
Right? That's a house payment.
Yeah. It's incredible.
So here we go, moving on to year 3. So now year 3, I'm at $4,000 a month, which I think for most people is a full-time income, right? Yeah. And that pretty much allows sorry, I shouldn't have shut that. Dang it. Such a Google Hangout.
While you're pulling it back up, people were saying our monthly bills would be paid. They could pay off their car, mortgage, vacation, bring husband home from his part-time job. So many things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's incredible.
I don't know where it went. Anyway, it was for $4,000.
For year 3, right?
Yeah. So for year 4, that's a big jump. I mean, that's when you really start to see residual income take over. And this is when I started opening subsequent business centers as well. And it was about this point during that 4th year that I took my husband for a walk. I put the leash on him and I took him for a walk and I said, "Honey, I want to bring you home. I think I can actually do that." And so at $16,000 a month, which goes to show what a great living he was providing for us, he's like, "That's not going to cut it." He said, but if you can get closer to $20,000 a month, he said, then I can start considering it. And so what do you think I did? I really, really started working because I wanted to bring him home. And so my work I didn't work any longer. I just made my work more focused. So when they talk about that power hour, or they talk about, what it is that you do to be so productive for people who have full-time jobs, I just really zeroed in and made sure I didn't have a lot of, Facebook scrolling and all that stuff. But up until this point where you're seeing this income, there was no like page. There was no Instagram. It was just me and my personal page. And if I can tell you, when I started as a coach, I had 200 friends on Facebook, and that was it. So I know I have a big following now, but I built that just by having a heart of service and helping people. But I started with 200 friends, and I see a lot of newer coaches that come into my organization with even bigger followings than that. And so I don't want to hear that you don't have a big network, because it doesn't matter. So let's go to year 5. Hooray, I did it. But I want you guys to know too, that I do have legitimately 7 business centers. I have 6 of my own, and then I have my husband's, which is a very well-produced business center, because he was one of my very first coaches. So if you haven't signed up your spouse yet, I slap you silly. Sign up your spouse, because that business center just is a cash cow, just because you put it in early. So I've got 7 business centers now. And so my first business center at this point does start slowing down a little bit, because all of my commission and I'm really starting to build other business centers outside of this one. But $21,000 a month can bring a lot of dads home, right? Can bring a lot of families together. And so that was a big deal for us. It was the time that we were able to bring my husband Mick home. He's been retired now for 4 years, just about 4 years, and he's made up for it. He's made up for it. So here we go into year 6, and it's at $32,000 a month in my 6th year. And as some of you know, and some of you don't know, but your business centers start to cap out. And so in my 6th year, I'm just about getting there. If you look at the very top, at $12,000, it caps out of your cycle bonus. So it really starts almost capping out. But I really built smart in the fact that every chance that I got to open a new business center, I did, and I started building it. And so my first business center didn't cap out super early, which I'm very grateful for, because money was being earned in other business centers while this one was still earning. So there it is at 32,000. And then we get into, Then we get into year 7. We're almost there. Year 7, it averaged about 50,000, and up at the top, probably from, about February on, it's capping. Now, I told you it was $12,000, but anything that's above 12,000 is matching bonus. For you newer coaches, that's just 10% of what your Emerald coaches or higher make. So even though I made $12,000 in the team cycle, let's just look at the very top one. I made $2,300 just off of what my coaches do, because I got a 10% matching bonus. So that's really, when you make that $14, $16, $18 check, and you might get $2 from your Emerald coach, appreciate that, because that kind of a thing is you're working toward, and I promise you, it really starts to snowball faster than you can turn around if you just stay consistent to the fact that you get to the point that these numbers just really start to jump. And then let me show you year 8.
And Melissa, this is the average is for all of your CBCs, right? Or is this just your first?
This is just my first.
Oh my gosh.
And so now this whole year it's capped out, and there's nothing. I won't put a customer in there. I won't put a coach in there. As my coaches grow, it still continues to grow because, you know, I'm getting matching bonuses still, and I still get residual income because of all of the years that I was an Emerald coach and I had those free customer leads. So as you see, it's still always higher than 12,000, and it'll continue to go up, you know, slowly and steady. But that one business center does cap out every month on average at about $62,000. I'm gonna leave that up for a second because I'd really like to show you the last picture. It's a good thing you guys can't see like my desktop, because those of you that are neat freaks would have an anxiety attack. I even tried to clean it out a little bit for you so I wouldn't give any of you guys heart palpitations, but I had this last time. I don't know why it's so hard for me to find. I'm gonna give it 5 more seconds. Otherwise, they'll just explain it to you. 4, 3. There it is. Yay. Okay. All right. So the last thing I want to show you is something you guys have probably heard about a lot, is the quarterly bonuses, right? Well, the last time I screenshotted one was in January. And to be honest with you, January is pretty lame because it's payout for the 4th quarter. And you guys all know that have been in this long enough that October, November, and December is a little tough to get people to buy products as opposed to January, February, and March. So anyway, this is the Superstar Diamond Bonus Pool. And so say $38,000 for that business center, because it is a 15-star business center. So even though I told you it caps out at 62,000, you could actually add another $12,000 a month to that because of this bonus. So honestly, it's really at about almost $75,000 a month, just that first business center, because of my dedication to people, because I care about people. I care about their health. I care about their well-being, and I want them to succeed. So the whole point of this is, if you're at the stage in the game where most of your income is commission, you know, and you might make $150, or you're in my position at the very beginning when you made a whole whopping $170 on average your first year as a coach, don't give up. Don't slow down. I never once slowed down. I was naive, I guess is a really nice way to put it. I was naive, and I was enjoying what I was doing. So every penny that came in, I was grateful for. And if I can put a little disclaimer there, Mick and I are huge supporters of the Special Olympics. You know, the more we make, the more we can give. So for us, there's no stopping. Why would you? I mean, I saw one of you were in Frisco, and Frisco has a huge Special Olympics organization. And so that's where my heart is. And so I remember Summer Tucker she was celebrating her 15-star, and I was celebrating the double 15-star. And she said, "So what's your next goal?" I looked at her without hesitation, and I said, "I want to make, I think I said $5 million a year, $5 or $10 million a year or something." And my husband elbowed me, and he's like, "I can't believe you said that." And I'm like, "Why would I be ashamed of that? It's not like I hoard it. I don't share it. The more I make, the more I can give." So don't ever, 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 please don't ever feel guilty for making money off of what you do, because you're helping people in so many different ways. And there are so many people out there that could use your financial contribution just as well as everything else. So keep enjoying what you're doing and fighting for what you love. And at the same time, enjoy watching the process of every penny come in. And you're going to you're going to surpass me, piece of cake, because I was in the trenches when we were earlier and there was nothing to sell. People are hitting my goals a whole lot faster than I did. So I hope that inspired you to continue to go, especially if you're in your first or second year and you're like, my work effort is not reflecting my pay. It didn't for me either the first 2 years. I tell people all the time, the first year is just training, right? You're just being trained. And if you make any money at all, God bless you. But the first year, you really aren't going to make any money. You're going to learn, and then you're going to start making money your second year, and then it's just going to get exponential from that year on. So if this is your first year, take a deep breath and know that you are learning how to work this business to get to the growth that you see some of these top coaches do, and you'll be successful at it. All right, Sarah, I'm all done.
Wow, you guys, how awesome is that? Like, and you know, it's just, I just want to like make sure that we understand that this took her 8 years to get here. Melissa, will you mute yourself real quick? I'm getting an echo. Thank you. But you guys, and Marissa just said that in the comments, 8 years, 8 years. So this, you know, we've been talking a lot about this lately, that this is not a race. If you focus on the things like she's talking about, helping people and doing what you love, staying in your lane, this is what can happen. This is what can happen. Like, it's incredible. And it's not about the money so you can have riches and wealth and be happier. Money doesn't bring you happiness. What brings you happiness is staying in your lane and giving back, right? Like, that's one thing that I've always wanted to do is take the income that we make because of this business and give back. So, I mean, that's incredibly inspiring. And I think certainly gives us the motivation to want to do this for ourselves and really seek that internal inspiration to stay the course and stay in our lane every single day. So thank you so much, Melissa. That was incredible. We super appreciate you sharing that income. And you guys, you know, it doesn't come without hard work, without, you know, the sweat, the tears, and the digging in with your people. I mean, it takes work, and she's a prime example of just never giving up and having an incredible work ethic and being a fighter. I mean, she said it at the beginning, like, she's a fighter, and that's why she's created this kind of income for her family. So thank you so much, Melissa. You are amazing. We super appreciate you. If you want to say one more thing before we go, it's yours. If not, we will call it. So thank you so much. Does anyone else have any questions? Let's see. Melissa, you're an inspiration. This call was so amazing. Money isn't the most important thing in life, but it's reasonably close to oxygen on the gotta have it scale. That's true. And people just keep saying that you're so humble. So I couldn't agree more. So thank you again. You guys, make sure you talk about this on our team pages. Get people to watch the recording. Please, please, please share what you took away, what you loved. Get people on this recording. Thank you guys. Have an awesome week. And here's your motivation to push and help 3 people before the end of the month. So thank you, Melissa. Have an awesome week. I really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Bye. Have a great week. We'll talk soon.